Hello, welcome to all of you in today's lecture on the topic Physiology of Man. Let me begin with the objectives of today's lecture. So today I will discuss on subjects of Man, functions of Man, what are different Sattva vikara, that is emotions and behavioral expressions, and how they are determined, what are different types of Sattva, and different types of Sat on the basis of Manobala and its clinical significance. Subject of Man. The subject of Man given by Acharya Charak in this verse, Chintam vichare uhyam cha dhyam sankalpamev cha 𝐻𝐿𝐿 𝐏𝐚 tat sarvam hi artha sangikam. Chintyam means a thinking or thought process. Vicharyam means consideration or analysis. Uhyam means inferring and making hypothesis. Dhyam means concentration or attention, and sankalp means determination. So these are the five steps to get knowledge about any perceived object or stimulus via the different Jnanendriya. And all these things happen at the level of mind. So I will explain these steps one by one, and as Acharya Chakrapani has explained it, Chintim kartavya akartavya va yan manasa chintyate. Manasto chintyam artha. Tatra manaso manobuddhesya ta eva samanahina mithya yoga prakriti vikriti hetavo bhavanti. Chintyam means what kartavya, what to do, and akartavya means what not to do. So just after the contact of some stimulus with the object, there is immediate generation of immediate thought about the perceived thing, and the generation of thought is the prime function of mind. Manastu chintyam artha. This is the main function of the manas, that is thought process. And the generation of thought, it is of two kinds. One is when there is contact of some stimulus with the receptor in the form of sabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha by the special sense organs. Then there is generation of thought process about the perceived object. That is called indriya sapeksha janya chintya. And if there is no contact of some external stimulus with the sensory organ, even though there is a thought process at the level of mind, that is called indriya nirapeksha, means without involvement of any indriya, at the level of mind there is thought process. So as we know, the function of brain is also, especially the prefrontal cortex, is thought process, imagination and ideation. Next, and this thought process, it has also a role in physiological homeostasis or different kind of disorders. Tatra manaso manobuddheshyata eva samanahina mithya yoga. If there is balanced thought process, then it produces balanced action of body and mind. If there is excessive thought process, so it may lead imbalance and in physiological in mental and physical activities, and may cause maybe the cause of some origin of some disorder. Next step is vicharyam, means consideration or analysis. Vicharyam upapatti anupapatyabham yad vimarshyate, means analysis. Just after the reception of stimulus by the indriya, there is analysis of about that object, that is called vicharya. Next is the uhyam. Uhyam means in making inferences about the object. Yat uhyam cha yat sambhavana uhyate evam aita bhavishyati. So we can say that it is the futuristic analysis of the perceived object on the basis of various possibilities about the perceived thing. Dhyam means concentration or ascension. Dhyam bhavana jnana vishyan. So it is the manas, it decides to focus upon the perceived object in this stage. After the chintya, vicharya and uhya, sankalpa means the determination. So after the complete analysis with above 4 steps, that is chintam, vichar, uhyam and dhyam, there is a generation of final knowledge, and that knowledge at that stage is called as determination. And this stage sankalpya gunvatya doshvatya avadharana vishayam. So in this stage the complete analysis about its positive, gunvatya means the positive aspect, and doshvatya means its negative aspects or demerits about the perceived stimulus is being completely analyzed, and then there is generation of final knowledge about the perceived object. Yat kinchit yanena sukhada anukta vishaya avarodha. So this, all these steps, chintam, vicharyam, uhyam, dheyam and sankalp, are the steps wise things which happen at the level of man about any perceived knowledge or any perceived stimulus, and then after there is generation of knowledge. Yat kichit manaso gneyam tat sarvam hi artha sangikam. So these are the steps which arise in the manas. Either there is a contact of indriya with some external stimulus, that is sabda sparsha rupa rasagam, means the things which we perceive are sensory organs, or this may be because of maybe in absence of the external stimulus also. So here Acharya Charak says that the imagination and thought process at the level of mind without involvement to the external stimulus, there may be n number of imaginations and ideations in the brain. So all those n number of things may be the arth of a man. Now subjects of manas further. Manaso gneyam indriya nirapeksha manograhyam ete cha mano artha shabdadi rupa. Here, as I earlier discussed in the previous slide, that in the chintya, the thought process which initiates at the level of mind, it may be of two kinds, that is indriya sapeksha and indriya nirapeksha. When there is involvement of some external stimulus, then it is called indriya sapeksha. That is when the our indriya sensory organs, that when eye gets connected with the some roop and ear gets connected with some shabd, similarly the jivendriya gets connected with the ras, then there is generation of thought process about that is called indriya sapeksha. But when there is absence of all these external stimulus, even though there is a thought process at the level of brain, that is called indriya nirapeksha. Now functions of mind or manas. Indriya abhigraha karma manasa swasya nigraha uho vicharasya tatah param buddhi pravartate. First function is the mind control all the indriya, that is either sensory or motor functions, and swasya nigraha. This is the another peculiarity about the man, that it itself restrains its own functions, or it restrains itself and regulates its own function. Mano hi anishta vishayam prashitam manasaiva nimyate, means the mind, it regulates the sensory organs, do not get connected with the harmful things. Then uho means again the analysis or on the basis of future possibilities about the perceived thing. Vichar means again analysis and making decisions. Tatah param, so uhya and vichar, and after that there is generation of buddhi, that is the knowledge about perceived thing. So the knowledge which is generated about some perceived thing, this is also with the help of mind, and it is of two kinds, nirvikalpanam and vikalpanam. So the first hand knowledge we just get just after the contact of some stimulus with the indriya, that is called nirvikalpanam. And when the final knowledge which is generated after passing through these 5 steps, that is chintam, vicharya, uhyam, dhyam and sankalpa, then the knowledge which is generated, that is called vikalpana, means after the complete analysis, the final knowledge which is generated at the level of mind, that is called buddhi. Now the Satva vikara, that is the emotions and behavioral expressions which we see in a person, how they arise. So about this, Acharya Charak has given this verse in Sharirasthan. He believes that the different emotions or behavioral expressions, they arise from the Sattvaj bhav. So during the development of fetus, there are different bhav has been described. That is the Rasaj bhav, Atmaj bhav, Sattvaj bhav, Matraj and Pitraj bhav. These are the different factors which affect the embryological development of a fetus. So all these emotions, they get arise from the Sattvaj bhav during intrauterine life. And these traits are Bhakti, that is desire, Silam, that is behavior, Saucham, purity or cleanliness, Dvesh, hatred, Smriti, memory, Moha, that is attachment toward worldly things, Tyaga, sacrifice, Matsarya means the feeling of jealous in the happiness of others, Shaurya, that is valor or bravery, Bhayam, that is fear, Krodh, anger, Tandra, that is drowsiness, Utsaha, enthusiasm, Takshriya means harsh or intense behavior, Mardavam, soft in behavior, Gambhiryam, patient and stable in behavior, Anavasthitatva means unstable in behavior. So likewise there are other traits also. So all these are called as Sattva Vikar. And all these traits, they depend on the proportion of Sattva, Raj and Tam in a man of a person. Now the Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic traits, or the behavior or emotions which a person shows, it depends on the expression of Sattva, Raj and Tam gun in a mind or manas of a person. So Acharya Shushruta has given the traits related to the Sattvic person or a Tamasic person or Rajasic. So first one is the Sattvic. Satvika astu Anrishansham Samyabhaga Ruchita Titiksha Satyam Dharma Astikyam Jnanam Buddhir Medha Smriti Dhitir Anabhishangash. Anrishansham means akrura karma karitva, means the person is of kind nature and always away from the hostile activities. Samyabhaga Ruchita means the person has very is very satisfied and there is no greediness and have tendency to divide all the things in equally in among all individuals. Titiksha means Chama, that is forgiveness. Satyam, that is truthfulness. Dharma, that is following all the righteous code of conduct related to behavior or related to the physical activity or mental activity. Astikyam means the person believes in the dharma, person believes in the salvation, that is moksha, and in paralok means the next birth. And jnanam, that is the knowledge. Buddhi means tatkala vishaya, means it is the immediate ability to perceive the things, that is the grasping power. Medha grahantha avadharana shakti, that is the retention power. Smriti means purva anubhutasya arthasya smaranam. Smriti means the knowledge which is previously gained, to the capacity of retrieval of that is called smriti. Dhriti manaso niyamatmika. Dhriti means the patience. The person has very balanced mind. Anabhishangasya means phala nirpekshya buddhya shreshe karma karanam anabhishangasya, means the person is not get involved with the result of any activity, but the person believes in doing the honest work and is not attached with its result. So all these are the traits which get expressed because of dominance of sattva gun in a person, and the person showing these traits is categorized as sattvic person. Rajasic and tamasic traits. Rajasic trait: दुख बहुलता, अट्टनशीलता, आदृति, अहंकार, आनृति, कत्वम, कारुण्यम, दम्भो, मानो, हर्षः, काम, क्रोधश्च. Dukh bahulata means the person have tendency to express sorrow. Attanashilata means here the cruelty, means hostile nature. Adriti, impatience. Ahankar, proudy nature. Anritikatvam, to tendency to lie. Akarunyam, lack of kindness. Cruelty, we can say. Dambha, that is false perception of being superior. Harsha, Kama, Krodha, over excitement and happiness, or there is a calm, there is very intense desire to have something. Krodha, excessive anger. So all these are the traits which are due to Raj property in a person. Tamasastu विषादित्वम, नास्तिक्यम, अधर्मशीलता, बुद्धि निरोधो, अज्ञानम, दुमेधस्तत्व, कर्मशीलता, निर्दलित्वम च इति. The tamasic person has vishaditvam. The person has tendency to show mostly a sad kind of behavior. Nastikyam, not believes in God or salvation. Adharmashilata, do not believe in doing righteous things. Means the parshilata means behavior. So person has tendency not to follow the right code of conduct. Buddhi nirodho, ajnanam, dumedhastum, akarma shilata. Lack of knowledge. Person has dishta buddhitvam, means wicked nature. Tendency to harm another person. Akarma shilata means karmade anutsaha, lack of excitement to do some activities. Nirdalutum, excessive sleep. So all these are the traits which a person shows in a behavior because of tamaguna. Now determination of type of sattva. So how do we determine the type of sattva of a person? So for this Charak has given the verse Yat Gudam cha abhikshram purusam anuvartate sattvam Tata sattvamev upadeshanti bahulya anushayat iti. Means yat gudam means those properties. Cha abhiksham means frequently. Abhiksham means puna puna. Purusham, the person. Anuvartate means repeat, shows in behavior. Sattva means man. So the person which shows frequently the trait of sattva, raj and tam kind. So according to that, the person is categorized under sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. Nana vidhani khalu sattvani satani sarvane eke purushe bhavanti nacha bhavati ek kalam ekam tu prayo vritta. Here further Acharya Charak has given that all the sattva vikar which I just discussed are present in all the individuals, but they are not expressed in a same manner in all the individuals at a time. So that's why we see the persons of different behavioral expressions and traits, but in a particular person there is frequent observation of either sattvic or rajasic or tamasic traits, and accordingly we categorize the person as a sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. So determination of type of sattva of a person is done on the basis of frequently observed emotions or behavioral expressions in that person. Although all the traits they remain in a person since birth because they arise from the sattvaj bhava, but their expression is different from person to person and time to time. Its expression, it depends on the proportion of sattva, raj and tam in a man of a person. There is another verse which Acharya Charak has given in Sharir Sthan. Here Acharya Charak mentions very scientific thing that A behavior has genetic basis also. रूपादि रूप प्रभव प्रसिद्धः कर्मात्मकानां मनसो मनस्ता भवन्ति ये त्वा आकृति बुद्धि भेदा रजस्तमस तत्र च कर्म हेतु. Here Acharya has taken the simile of as the roop arises from the roop. In the same manner, the manas, it also arises from the man of a traits of the manas which is inherited by the parents. Means karma means the code of conduct and behavior which is followed by the parents. As we know that all are anthropological, morphological or physiological traits, that is the physical component of the body, as it gets derived from the genes. In the same manner, the different emotions or behavioral expressions, they have also the genetic basis and they depend on the code of conduct of parents that is being inherited in the man, which comes into the 𝐺𝐵 as a sukshma sharir. Acharya Shushruta has given the concept of sukshma sharir, and that sukshma sharir includes sukshma panchamahabhut, jivatma and man. So the man which is inherited, transferred from Shukra Shodit into the fetus, that carries all the traits which are frequently showed by the parents. So in this manner, this line gives the genetic account of the behavior. Here further in the next line, Acharya Charak explains why there is difference in behavior and gives the reason about that. Bhavanti ye tva akriti buddhi bheda rajas tamas tatra cha, means tva akriti means here traits, not shape. So all the different traits which we see in behavior of a person, it is because of Raj and Tam. So this verse refers to epigenetic effect of code of conduct and behavior acquired by the parents or by mother during fetal development, which alters the expression of gene related to behavior also. And nowadays, very scientific studies, especially the experimental studies, has also proved that if a pregnant mice during pregnancy is under stress, so the offsprings, they have also different behavioral problems, and it has been now believed by recent scientists also that the behavior or the different emotional expressions have genetic basis along with the environmental factors. Now, what are the types of sattva on the basis of manobal or mental strength? Again, this is very unique concept which is given by scholars of Ayurveda. As we know, the immunity, that is the vyadhi shamatva, Acharya Chakrapani said that nacha sarvani sarirani vyadhi shamatve samarthani bhavanti, means all the individuals do not have equal capacity to resist against the diseases. So in the same manner, the Trividha bal has been described. Trividham balam sahajam kalam jam yukti kritam cha sahajam yat sharire sattvayo prakritam. Here Acharya Shushruta mentions that the bal is of three kinds: sahaj, kalaj and yuktikrit. Sahaj means the innate, kalaj which the power, that is immune power or mental strength, which comes with the time factor. Yuktikritam, which is because of either immunization or because of diet and different karma. Again he explains sahajam yat sharira sattvayo prakritam. Sahaj bal is again of two types. Yat sharir means the body and sattva means the man. So here he differentiates the innate immunity into two types, so that is the immunity of dhatu as well as immunity of the man, rather say it as a mental strength. So the sattva bal, it inherently differs from person to person. And why this sattva bal is important? So in the first line here, sattva cheti sattvam uchyate mana, means the sattva is also called as man. Tat sharirasya tantrakam atma sanyogat. this man controls Sharira. Tantrakam means regulates Atma Sanyogat. So this man along with the Atma regulates the whole bodily functions. That's why the man or mental strength is very important in regulation of the physiological functions and play a great role in maintenance of health. And this bal is of, again, the Sattva bal is of three kind: Pravar, Madhya and Avar. Pravar bal, Madhya and Avar bal. So here he has used term Pravar, Madhya and Avar, means the Manobal has the gradings. All individuals do not have equal kind of mental strength. And further Acharya Dillard has explained, Sattvam Manobalam Guda Vishesho Rajastamsho Ravi Paksha Sattve Shati Pida Adi Shahishrutva Lakshanam Manobalam Bhavati. Sattve Uttam Manobalam, Rajasi Madhyam Manobalam, Tamasi Manodorbalyam. The Manobal, it depends on the Rajastamso. Guda Vishesho means the Raj and these Tam. So the Sattva bal, basically it depends on the proportion of Sattva, Raj and Tam. Sattve Sati Pida Adi Shahishrutva Lakshanam Manobalam Bhavati. How we can assess the Manobal? So he has given this, that the power to tolerate, Shahishrutva means tolerance. So it is the power of tolerance against pain or different kind of stress. So it is the power to tolerate different kind of negative emotions or different kind of stress. And the person having the dominance of Sattva Gun is called as Pravar Sattva, dominance of Rajagun is called as Madhyam Sattva, and the person who has dominance of Tam Gun comes under the category of Avar Sattva, and this stage is also called as Manodorbalya state. Further Acharya Charak has given its clinical implications also very beautifully, that a person who belongs to Pravar Sattva has very good tolerance towards any kind of pain or stress, and he has mentioned that the Sattva bal is independent of physical build of a person. This is very unique observation by Acharya Charak, that physical build is not directly proportional to the mental strength. A person with a large body frame, hefty, strong muscular body may have poor mental strength. However, a person of a small body size or thin body build may have very good mental strength. Similarly, in a Madhyam Sattva person has dominance of Rajagun and has medium tolerance toward any kind of pain or stress, and such persons are able to bear the pain after counseling or seeing by some other person in the same or similar situation of stress. Avar Sattva, the Avar Sattva person have very low mental strength, so that's why they are very poor. They have very poor tolerance towards pain or any kind of stress, and these persons are unconsolable and they are unable to bear stress even after counseling. And such persons, they usually suffer from feeling of excess fear, grief, attachment, or they have very much greediness behavior, and they have tendency of excessive thinking. That's why they are very prone for anxiety or mental disorders. And such persons are, if exposed to some blood or any kind of threatful situation, so they get very easily fainted, or even such persons get such frightened that they may die also. So these are the few thing about the three kind of Sattva bal or category, that is Pravar, Madhya and Avar, and it has clinical implications also. And Acharya Charak has mentioned about the Sattva bal pariksha also, because on the basis of that we can predict about the prognosis of disease. We can decide the type of management, like in deciding the dose of painkiller or in deciding the dose of anesthesia. And the person is also like the Pravar Sattva person. They have very good tolerance so they are very less prone for psychosomatic disorders, whereas the Avarasattva person, they are very prone for development of different kind of psychosomatic disorders if they are exposed to stress for a longer duration. So this is all about Manobala or mental strength. So to overall sum up about the physiology of Man, that Man is a biological entity which derives from the Panch Mahabhut. It has 3 attributes like Sattva, Raj and Tam. It resides in the brain or heart, and it regulates all bodily functions through the Manovah Shrotas. And it is of, the Manobal is of 3 kinds, so it play a great or significant role in physiological homeostasis, in regulation of different kind of indriya functions, in regulation of all other motor activities. So as we know, in the maintenance of health also the manas play a great role. When the Charak has Sushruta has defined the definition of health over there, the pleasant state of mind, it is a one component or determinant of health also. So this the physiology of manas is very important concept in Ayurveda. Thank you.